With January winding down, Aggie basketball is in the heart of conference play, while the spring sports are gearing up for their season. Today, our New Mexico State Sports Weekly head men's basketball coach Marvin Menzies will join me to discuss his team's 2 home wins last week and look ahead to their upcoming game with Texas Pan American. Aggie women's basketball moved their winning streak to 8 games with 2 road wins last week. Associate head coach Tamra Inouye will be in studio to tell us all about it. The NM State baseball and softball teams have started practice in preparation for their upcoming season. Head baseball coach Brian Green and head softball coach Kathy Rudolph will visit the studio to fill us in on their preseason progress. It's a loaded show, and it's time to get started. This is New Mexico State Sports Weekly. The New Mexico State men's basketball team picked up a pair of convincing wins at home last week to improve their conference record to 4-1. The Aggies picked up a 22-point win over then-league leader Grand Canyon on Thursday and a 25-point victory against Utah Valley on Saturday. With the wins, the Aggies moved into sole possession of first place in the WAC. Joining me now is head coach Marvin Menzies. Coach, you got back to almost full strength with the return of Daniel Mollings last week. Was this a glimpse of how good your team can be?
You know, you don't want to get, as how coaches are. We're all like, I don't know yet. We'll see. But those are 2 pretty good wins. So, having Moles back was a big plus, as well as getting Chili back on the floor. So it's heading in that direction for sure, as evidenced by the way we produce, especially defensively. And then the offense was sporadic, but I think the longer they're back, the better the offense will be as well. Which areas do you feel like you really excelled at last week? I think that the zone, the variations of the zones that we're playing, where the guys are picking up some of the subtle nuances there, and so that's been good for us, and taking away the competitor's 3-point shot, which was big for us, and then taking care of the ball. Those are areas that I think we're really improving in, which is critical if you're going to be really good down the road when you need to be in March. Those are key areas. One of the guys who returned recently, Chilin Apawe, continues to play more and more, better and better. Yeah. Are you surprised he's playing this well, this early from his return? A little bit, just because I thought it would, bigger guys take a little bit longer to develop. They take a little bit longer to bounce back off of injuries and so forth. But he is a 5th-year senior, and he's at the end of the journey, and he knows it, so he's playing with a little more urgency. I thought it would take a couple weeks, and it's right about 2 weeks now, so I'm expecting him to be really good for us. And where we're really going to need those guys is on the road. The home is the home. You're going to play great at the house typically. Well, at least from an energy standpoint, the execution can come and go depending on your adrenaline and so on and so forth. But we're really going to need those seniors on the road. That's going to be the difference for us. A nice crowd reaction for the return of Daniel Mollings. How neat was that to see? Yeah, that was really cool. Daniel's one of those guys that he just plays with so much energy and so much passion. He pours his heart out there for his teammates and his university when he laces them up. So it was good to see the love reciprocated, and I think he had a little moment there where he had to catch himself, because I don't think he was even expecting it. Not that, he's just the humble guy, so when he goes out, we're just going in to play, He probably had excitement for that, but then to hear the crowd roar, it was like, whoa, okay, yeah, they love you, bro. So let's get it going. So, and he did. He went out and played a great game as a result. And he adds a lot to your team defensively, doesn't he? No doubt. His he affected the game so much against Valley, and he was 1 for 11 from the field. He had a horrible game, but then you look up, he still has 10 points because he got to the free throw line. He has assists, he has steals, he has rebounds. He's just a stat sheet filler. So, and then we always talk about if you're not going to score big, you could still do a lot to help us win the game. And as you referenced, defensively he was excellent. When we return, Coach and I will preview this weekend's home game against Texas Pan American. Stay with us on New Mexico State Sports Weekly. NM State's men's basketball team will welcome WAC opponent Texas Pan American to Las Cruces on Saturday,
looking for their 25th straight home win in WAC play. The Aggies enter the weekend in first place in the conference. Head coach Marvin Menzies is with me in the studio. Dan Hipsher's Broncs are on Saturday. A lot of new faces for them this season.
Oh boy, yeah.
What do you expect to see?
Well, they only have 3 guys back, so yeah, that's very rare. But Dan just took over last year, so those were a lot of guys he inherited. He's getting in some guys now that he wants. He has a little mix there of some high school guys, some JC guys. But they've got a couple guys that we're just starting to watch film on. Okay. So we got to get familiar with them. And, well, we've been watching them for a couple days now, but they're just guys that we haven't had a chance to see. So whenever you have that, there's always, okay, where are the strengths, where are the weaknesses, where can we attack them? Where do we got to make sure we shore up, the holes on our side of things as far as how they play defense and offense. So just getting familiar with that, a brand new roster really is a little bit of a challenge in itself. The good thing is we're at home. We have an opportunity to continue to play well as we have, in recent games. So now it's just a matter of going out and seeing what they have in store for us.
What's the preparation like for your team right now? Because you just added 2 players essentially with Napawe and Mullings coming back.
Right. Well, the good thing is, like I said earlier, they're 5th-year guys. So, the continuity's there. It's not like we got back a freshman or someone who hasn't played a lot of minutes. Those guys are familiar with playing at home, playing with those guys that are on the floor with them already. Even though they've missed a good chunk of the season, they're obviously bouncing back, as evidenced by Chili's play and by Daniel's play. And we're hopeful that we can get Tanvir back here in the mix soon too. So I think that when you combine all of those things, you really start to get excited about. I wonder how good we can be. I was pumped up before the season started. I was so excited about the potential of this team, and then we get hit with all those curveballs, and it was kind of like, okay, all right, let's fight through. And now you're starting to get that feeling again, like, okay, all right, let's tighten things up and see how good we can be this year.
How dangerous do you think you can be?
Well, again, it has to be proven out on the court, obviously, but I do feel like if things keep moving in this direction, I feel like we have a legitimate chance of winning the conference. I feel like we're going to be in the mix in the conference tournament there, but that's a one and done situation. So you got to weather the storm, everybody's best shot for 3 days in a row. So that's always a challenge. But if we were fortunate and blessed enough to make it back to the dance, I think we've put a really good team out there. But now, what do you have? Well, what's our seed going to be based on the early season losses when we had a lot of guys missing? And, who knows? There's just so many dynamics and variables that go into this equation. But I know whatever it ends up being, if we're fortunate, like I say, to get back to the tournament, I know we'll have a really good team going in. Now, how we match up and who we play, do we have a 1 or 2 or 3 seed? Who knows? But it's just getting back there is kind of long term. So I typically stay away from those questions, as you know, because we got Pan Am on Saturday, so I need to keep my focus there. But to dream for a little bit, that's kind of the hope.
Final question for you, Coach. You just beat 2 good ball clubs in rather convincing fashion. Were you surprised by the margin at the end?
Not as much, just because we're at home. The home and away in conference is like light years apart. Seattle dropped one at UMKC by 20, and they're a really good team. So nothing surprises me when you get to the WAC. The wacky WAC can be crazy. So we're just taking them. That's why I said we just need to take them one at a time, get ready for Dan's group, and we'll go from there.
Come out to the Pan American Center this Saturday as the Aggies battle Texas Pan American in WAC play. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. Good luck this weekend, Coach.
All right, thanks a lot.
When we return, women's basketball associate head coach Tamra Inouye will join me. Coach will recap her team's recent road trip, which finished with 2 more wins to push the team's win streak to 8 games. Stay with us. This is New Mexico State Sports Weekly. Your Aggie women's basketball team continues to roll. NM State picked up double-digit road wins last week at Grand Canyon and Utah Valley to move them into first place all alone in the conference at 5-0. The Aggies have now won 8 straight and 12 of their previous 13. Joining me now to break down the impressive streak is associate head coach Tamra Inouye. Coach, a perfect road trip, 4 straight road wins now. Has this been one of the more impressive parts of your streak, your ability to win on the road?
Sure. I mean, the biggest struggle with us has been to be able to win on the road. So, I mean, the maturity of our kids has been showing now, and it's been fun. They've been doing a good job.
50% from the field against Grand Canyon, one of the best percentages all season. Defensively, you forced 20-plus turnovers again. Is the defense one of the big reasons you've won 12 of 13?
Absolutely. Our defense, I mean, being able to change up our defense all the time has thrown teams off and keeping our kids really focused. So, I mean, they thrive on it, and they want to get those tips, and it's been a lot of fun to coach them.
How tough is it to shoot 50% on the road?
I mean, our kids are really stepping up. I mean, Shanice Davis has been fantastic. You know, Sasha Weber is consistent. Brianna Freeman's playing very well. I mean, when you have those kids playing, and then you still have Abby Scott that's still going to find it soon, and it's just going to help us all around.
Sasha Weber had 24 against Utah Valley, a new career high for her. She was really good last season, but has she reached a new level this year? Sure.
I mean, she's every year gets better and better and better, and, you know, most consistent player. You know, you always know what you're going to get from her, and you know, when she starts to feel it, she's going to give the ball to her every time, and she'll shoot it. So, I mean, she's been shooting well, and it was coming to her.
What makes her so dangerous?
She can drive. She can shoot it. I mean, you can't defend her one way. If you defend her one way, she'll counter you. She'll do something different. So, I mean, Sasha's a very smart player. I mean, she has such a high IQ of the game. She reads it on her own.
Shanice Davis, a JUCO transfer, having a big year, but she's been really, really good after Christmas. Have you seen elevated play from her?
Absolutely. I mean, she doesn't like to lose, that's for sure. And if we have a point guard that hates to lose more than winning, then you're going to have a very successful team. And she wants just the team to play well, and she does a great job of doing that. You know, she does score a lot of points, but she is always looking for the next pass as well.
A big game this weekend against Texas Pan American. They only have one loss in conference. You don't have one yet. How big is this game?
It's huge. It's going to be basically securing first place with a 2-game ahead of everyone else. If Pan American beats us, we're back in tied in first place. So, I mean, they're a very athletic, very well-coached team. We struggled with them. We split with them last year and got them in the tournament. But, I mean, it's going to be a good battle. It's tough to play up there. They've won eight straight over there, too. So, I mean, it's going to be a good battle.
Since it is such a big game, is it big to have a week full of practice, just one game this week?
I mean, it's nice. It's very nice to do that, of course. You know, they get it too. So, I mean, a lot of film today and getting our legs back and getting back in condition still, and we'll see how that game goes up there.
Are you guys surprised by this start at all in conference play?
I mean, surprising, sure, but I mean, it's just, you know, when you're such a young team, you just want them to click at the right time and, you know, to get them to understand the importance of it. I mean, the maturity level, like we talked about all the time, is when they want to win that bad, they're going to do everything it takes, and it's fun. It's fun because if you don't have a superstar on our team, it's just everybody, you know, we're getting 3, 4, sometimes 5 people in double figures. That's a good team for us right now, and if they continue that way, I mean, I think good things are still to come.
Log on to nmstatesports.com to keep up with the Aggies as they try to push their winning streak to 9 games at Texas Pan American. Good luck and keep it rolling, Coach.
Thanks, Adam.
When New Mexico State Sports Weekly returns, we will sit down with baseball head coach Brian Green to preview his team's upcoming season. This is New Mexico State Sports Weekly. The excitement continues to grow for the upcoming baseball season at New Mexico State. With practice underway, the Aggies are just a couple of weeks away from the start of games. NM State opens up their season on February 13th when they take on Illinois in Lamar in Beaumont, Texas. Joining me now is the first-year head coach, Brian Green. Coach, before we talk about your team, you have the alumni game this Saturday. What kind of things are planned?
Yeah, Adam, it's going to be incredible. This is probably going to be the busiest week of my season. Will be this week. Yeah. Colin Cowgill played at Kentucky, so we have a relationship with him. Anaheim Angels outfielder just signed for just under $1 million contract. He's going to be out here as our major league host. We'll have a golf tournament going on Friday. We've got record numbers. We're almost at 50 for the golf tournament. We're looking at 65 for the alumni game. We'll have a function at my house just to say, alumni, let's go. Let's expand this thing and really get our family going again. So busy weekend planned, a lot of people coming. And with the new stadium to show that thing off should be really exciting.
The new stadium, a lot of renovations to Presley Askew Field. What can fans expect when they see it for the first time?
I think they're going to be blown away. You know, every alum that has come out and said, Coach, I can't believe this. You know, it's gone from what it was to legitimate major college facility with a horseshoe, the chairbacks, the sunshade. We've got some signage coming in and a lot more still going on, Adam, with outfield fence padding, logos down the wall, a new dugout expanded. Right now we're dugout-less because we've got a new one coming in. So a lot of exciting things for the facility. It's got a completely different look of what it used to be.
Focusing on your team, practice is underway. How have things gone so far?
Great. 2 inter-squads. We had our snow, which we don't see that once every 10 years, but we've got 2 inter-squads under our belt. The competitive level of both games, both on the mound and at the plate and on defense, guys moving without the baseball, talking, energy positive. It's been off the charts. It's allowing us for a lot of optimism in terms of our culture.
Season starts up February 13th, first of 8 straight on the road to start the campaign. Do you like the way the non-conference shapes up?
It's tough. It'll be real challenging for us. We're going to go into a couple of arenas where we're not used to. Not only will it be on turf, but they're very pitching and defense type parks, which is exactly how we'd like to build our program. But we love the opportunity. With Oregon for 4, a typical top 25, top 15 program. Lamar and Illinois, both perennial top 35 programs. Great opportunity for us to go out, get tough, and get better before we come home.
Do you have a pretty good idea right now of the team you have, or is it still too early to tell?
We have a fairly good idea. We've told our guys a lot the last couple of weeks that the great thing for us as coaches and the great thing for you as players is we have competition. We're too deep in terms of we're pretty even at every spot. Now, there are 4 or 5 guys that have emerged clearly. If you look at Mack in center field, Carswell right now is doing an unbelievable job behind the plate. His tempo and handling our pitchers has been off the charts. We've had some guys show some real competitive at-bats. Kyle Graff's doing a great job in the infield, but it's still open. It's still competitive. I think, Adam, the best way to answer that is we feel very good about 14 guys going in. We're not sure who those 9 are just quite yet. We've got a month to see.
What about pitching so far? Who's shined on the mound for you?
Billy Connard came back. He was out with an elbow for a year. He threw in our first inter-squad. He got it up to 93. That was exciting for all of us, just to see Billy come back. He's a great teammate. He's a great veteran. We're excited about him. Matty Loeffler's been great from Hawaii, a senior. He's got movement and action and a second pitch. We'll see Bob Kraft and Trey Higginbotham with the left-handed side in the next couple days. Kraft had a great fall. Those 3 guys going in with Riley Barr. Our bullpen's done a great job. We might not have wipeout stuff on the mound, but I think we've got wipeout competitive level, and we're going to throw strikes early. So if we can make outs early in the count and play left side infield defense, we got a chance.
Come out to the renovated Presley Askew Field this Saturday for the annual alumni game in Las Cruces. First pitch is set for 11:30. Enjoy Alumni Weekend, Coach.
Can't wait for it. Thank you.
After the break, head softball coach Kathy Rodolph will join me to preview her team's upcoming season. Stay tuned for more New Mexico State Sports Weekly. NM State softball season is on the horizon. The Aggies open up play in 2015 on February 5th when they begin play in Las Cruces against Montana. Joining me now is head coach Kathy Rodolph. Coach, you have a big event coming up this Saturday called Dining at the Diamond. How about some details on that?
We do. That's going to be on Saturday the 31st, and the event is going to be held from 4 to 6, and we're going to have a giant tent out in the parking lot where we're going to be showing a video of the 40 years of softball, because this is 40th year of softball. And it's going to be co-sponsored by Alaska Structures. And Alaska Structures strongly supports veterans. And we're hoping to have an exciting giveaway there. We'll see if that happens. But what we're doing is having heavy hors d'oeuvres, and then we're moving it into the field, and we're letting whoever wants to hit front toss, hit off front toss. Whoever wants to learn to pitch can learn to pitch. We're doing a tour of our facility and honestly just getting to know the girls in their environment.
How have the preparations gone so far for your season? Practice is underway now?
We're healthy, and that's probably the first most significant thing. Really improved in the circle with the pitchers and really have a great staff, and I think that's really going to add to our tremendous offense. Everybody knows we can swing it. We needed to kind of shore up some things in the pitching circle, but I love our depth. We've got 5 seniors and 7 freshmen, so it's kind of an interesting mix, and we're going to have to come together. Our talent is definitely there. We're going to have to adjust to playing fast and playing under control.
Speaking of your offense, the list for the top 50 offensive players in the country came out recently. One of your own, Stacy Rodriguez, number 21. How high are the expectations for her this year?
Well, you know, Stacy's an amazing young lady in all areas, in the community, in the classroom, and on the field. And Stacy is actually quite shy. She's come into her own a little bit. Back in the day, they retired her jersey for volleyball at her high school, and she just chose to play college softball. Quite the athlete, and I think Stacy's going to have a great year.
The top 25 preseason poll came out. You have 10 teams that you're going to play on that top 25 preseason poll. How exciting is that, though, the challenge of that?
Well, it's very exciting, and we get to bring a lot of those here. We've got Nebraska coming in. We have Arizona coming in for a doubleheader. We have Arizona State coming into Las Cruces for a doubleheader. We have Tulsa. We got Kansas, Texas Tech. It's going to be great days out on the softball field.
Season starts February 5th. What's your message to your players right now?
That play hard, play fast, play aggressive. That's who we are. And with 31 home games, be us.
Be sure to come out to the NM State Softball Complex this Saturday for the Dining at the Diamond event, and also on February 5th for the Aggies' first game of the season. Coach, enjoy the weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Tickets for Aggie baseball and softball are on sale right now. To be part of the excitement, call the Aggie ticket office at 575-646-1420. If you missed any part of today's show, check us out on YouTube, and be sure to stay up to speed on social media by liking New Mexico State Athletics on Facebook and following us on Twitter. That will do it for New Mexico State Sports Weekly this week. I'm Adam Young saying thank you for watching, and go Aggies.